Hi, this is Randy from Fried Eggs Golf here again for another edition of Over Easy. We just wrapped up the Masters and it was crazy. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining. I'm not going to give you a huge synopsis on it because I feel like you've probably had your fill of that already. But what I will say is I think that history is going to remember this Masters for the wrong reasons. It's going to say that Jordan Spieth gave up a sizable lead on the back nine to lose the Masters when it should actually read that Danny Willett shot a bogey-free 67 on a Masters Sunday to win it. And my hat's off to that man because he played an amazing round of golf to win an amazing golf tournament. So, without further ado, let's jump into the questions here. Set the timer here for 10 minutes, and here we go. Keenan Jr., on a scale of 1 to 100, how important do you think a pre-shot routine is? It seems like most golfers have the same one. Should each golfer's pre-shot routine be unique? 95? I mean, it's pretty important. I mean, a pre-shot routine, it's really about getting yourself into the mode you need to be in to hit each shot. So whether it's like Jason Day and you close your eyes and you visualize the shot, each pre-shot routine is going to have its own thumbprint. I don't think it needs to be completely unique. Maybe you like to adapt other methods you see from other golfers into yours, but whatever it is that takes to get you focused to hit the best shot possible. That's really what pre-shot routine is all about. Mark Blades, approximate recommended swing speed to use an Aldila 85 gram stiff shaft and a driver. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as just how fast you swing the club. I mean, a lot of things factor in here as far as launch angle, spin rate, shot dispersion, shot shape. So to say that you swing this fast, you can swing that shaft, it's not really an accurate way to do it. So I would recommend getting fit and have a fitter help you out to see if that shaft's right for you. But that heavy of a shaft in a driver, in a stiff flex, you're going to have to swing it over 100 miles an hour to even be able to make that shaft work. So hopefully that helps. Alexander Schwartzbart. I started golf last year, currently playing some secondhand clubs. They are good shape, but for next season I want to get fitted. Where do I start? How am I going to separate the set? Driver, fairway, hybrid, irons, wedges. Well, if the set you have works and you're happy with it and they perform well for you, you could do some minor fitting with those as far as getting the right length. You may be able to bend them depending on the material they're made out of. But as far as the driver's concerned, I mean, to put a shaft in a driver that's better than these stock OEM shafts now, you're going to spend quite a bit of money. So I would probably start with the drivers, the metal woods, and get those dialed in, get those fitted, and then work your way down from there. Tim Palin, congrats on the video. Question, in your video on the PM grind, did you really chip over your friend's head? Yes, I did. And what Tim is referring to is I made a Callaway PM grind rap video. And at the end of that video, I actually hit a Phil Mickelson style flop shot over Quentin's head. It took 2 takes. The first one we were about 6 feet away, and I cleared him easy. And I was like, that's not impressive. We're going to do it again. And so we moved it to a bit closer, and it just barely cleared. I mean, he's still alive, but yes, I hit it over his head. Check it out. You can go watch that. Jason Semler, my hands are massive and I can't seem to find a grip that's big enough. Even jumbo grips with multi-layers of tape aren't quite big enough. Are there any manufacturers that you know of that sell grips for giant hands? Yes, and the company's name is Jumbo Max, and these grips are like Shaquille O'Neal size. So if you have trouble finding them, let me know. Message me or put something in the comment section below, and I'll send you a link and hopefully help you out that way. So, Connor Bennett Golf. How do I know if I need a stiff shaft in my driver? My swing speed in my driver is 94 miles an hour, and I hit it around 235 yards. Once again, this is going into a driver shaft question about the stiffness of the shaft. A lot more it feeds into that. It's once again, it's about launch angle, it's about spin rate, it's about shot dispersion, shot shape, and a lot of things factor in here other than just club head speed. But having said that, at 94 miles an hour, you're kind of on that threshold from a regular to a stiff. So I would say if you're playing a regular and you see shots working to the left, then you probably could get away with hitting a stiff. But if shots are going right on you, I would stay away from a stiff flex. Nay 14222. Can secondhand clubs be fitted? I recently got a set of AP2s and was wondering if I can get them fit for length and lie, considering what's your most important aspect of club fitting. Well, we'll answer the first question there. Yes, you can custom fit AP2s. They are forged heads, so you can bend those heads, 2 degrees in either direction without any problem. Any more than that, you might crack the head. But length, you can also cut them down ½ inch, extend them ½ inch. You would use a steel extension. Do not put a wooden dowel rod in the end of a golf club. I see that. I honestly do. But yeah, you can fit those fairly easily. Most important aspect of club fitting is to just be fit. There's not one specific area I like to focus on because it's really the entirety of it. It's the shaft, it's the lie angle, it's the flex, it's the weight. It all factors in to give you better information. So the more you do, the more you find out. Brian Fry asks, why do all the golf shoe companies start using microfiber instead of leather for their uppers, except for shoes north of $200? I mean, for $170, you should get leather. Come on. I know, right? Leather is great for shoes because it's durable, it lasts a long time, it's waterproof, and it molds well to your foot. But having said that, people with swamp foot, like I have, these mesh fiber uppers help the shoe breathe more. And now they're making them so they're waterproof, so the shoe keeps your foot dry from the elements, but also lets it breathe when you perspire as much as I do in my feet. It's kind of gross, but it happens. David Meagan, what was the Tiger line called before Tiger came along? The John Daly line? My guess. For those of you who don't know, the Tiger line is just the line that Tiger would hit shots on that no one else could, whether it be to carry a lake or a sand trap or hit it over some trees, because he could hit it so far and so straight that no one else could really hit it on that same line. But yeah, I would say John Daly, the John Daly line. That sounds good. Michael Carr, how much can a shaft weight influence ball flight and distance? For example, do you think that there would be a noticeable difference in ball flight between a 70-gram fairway and an 80-gram? Yes, I think that's an underrated aspect of club fitting is shaft weight. You can do a lot with shaft weight as far as slowing down tempo or lowering launch angle, lowering spin rate, manipulating, which way the ball works. So yeah, if you put a 70-gram or an 80-gram shaft into a fairway wood, you would see a measurable distance or difference between the two. It just depends if you need an 80 or you need a 70 or a 60 or whatever it may be. Because if you get too heavy, it could have bad effects, and vice versa if it gets too light. So yes, it does make a difference. Josh Centroselli, what clubs are still good to buy used? Really, any club that's not broken. I mean, used clubs serve a purpose because they help people buy high-end golf equipment that wouldn't necessarily be able to afford them new. But the technology is still relevant. I mean, you can get a 10-year-old set of irons that still have a decent enough cavity back in them, and they perform well enough to be able to play well. So, yeah, any club that works well for your swing that's used is fine. That's good to know. Wants to know, what are the pros and cons of a square driver? Did they really work? Pros of a square driver was that they were super straight. That driver was designed in a way that it had a high MOI, which is moment of inertia. And all that means is when a ball hits the club off center, it resists that twisting. So you get straighter shots and more accurate drives, but they spun the ball incredibly, as far as they were super high spinning. And anytime you spin a ball high, you generally lose distance. So these drivers were super straight, but they went nowhere. So it was good for slower club head speeds. We saw, actually increased carry distance because they needed more spin. But when you get higher club head speeds, they just go a mile in the air and dead straight. We're going to jump over to Twitter. Stin asks, how long does an average driver fitting take? 45 minutes to an hour you should be able to accomplish. As long as you knew going into, an idea of what model you wanted, it shouldn't take any more longer than 45 minutes to an hour. Otherwise, you're going to start to manipulate the swing to try to get the numbers with that driver as opposed for the driver working for your swing. So, yeah, shouldn't take much longer than that. Andrew Nelson, you're great to watch. Love the rap videos that you do about golf clubs. you're the only one. Thank you. How do you feel about the claw putter grip? I'm not a fan of it personally, but I understand where people would like the claw grip. I mean, I like to hold the club securely. I feel like I have more control of it when I take more of a traditional grip. But the claw grip, ideally you want to get rid of some of that wrist flip at the bottom, and that kind of helps eliminate that. Helps you putt with your shoulders more and have a more consistent stroke. So there's validity to it. I just not a fan myself. NTV69. I'm wondering how much have the Callaway drivers improved since the Big Bertha 2014? Would a 20 handicapper with only 90 mile an hour club head speed see much improvement with a custom fit driver versus my off the rack one I currently have? Or am I better off working on my swing? That was rude, timer. Anyway, I'll finish this one. Am I better off working on my swing until I get up around 100 miles per hour? That's a good question. And the timer kind of interrupted it, so it kind of confused us there. But what he's basically asking is, 90 miles an hour, is it worth him getting his club fit for him, or should he wait until his club head speed gets a little faster? And it couldn't be anything further from the truth. When it doesn't matter what your club head speed is, you should get fit, because what fittings are is dialing in the proper loft, the proper line goal, proper shaft, flex, weight, whatever it may be that we're factoring into the golf club for that particular club head speed, that particular golfer. So it doesn't matter how fast you swing, it's important to dial those numbers and those specs in. So don't wait to get fit just because you want your club head speed to get faster. Get fit, and it'll help you improve and hopefully help you hit better, more consistent drives. But has technology changed since the Big Bertha 2014 driver? Yes, it has. But I'm saying this playing a 2014 Big Bertha Alpha driver, which I have not changed yet. Now, having said that, the technology has improved, and I've hit the new stuff, and I feel like it's given me a little better numbers, but not enough to where I would want to take that driver out of my bag. It gives me good consistency, consistent distance, and I just like the look and feel, and I have confidence with it. So, unfortunately, the USGA handcuffs these manufacturers, and they say you can only make it this big, you can only have the ball speed this fast coming off the face. So technology hasn't made leaps and bounds in the last few years like it used to. It's so hard for these guys to make drivers that improve that drastically for them to be night and day different from last year to to this year. So having said that, technology is improved, it's better, but you have to decide for yourself and see if you get the numbers that you're looking for. So that's all I have time for this week. Thank you guys again for all the questions. I'm actually almost at the end of my list here, so if you have any golf questions related to golf, stick them down in the comment section below, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Until then, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoyed the Masters as much as I did. It was awesome. So until then, adios.